You are most likely overthinking your arrow build, especially if you're one of those heavy arrow guys. And hold on, in this video, I'm gonna prove it to you. Okay, I'm just gonna get to my point in this video. I'm not gonna do like a long drawn out intro or anything, and then we're gonna shoot some cow scapulas, right? So I think that with all the talk of arrow weight and penetration and whatever study from 70 years ago in Africa, right? There's a lot of people who act like a white-tailed deer is the hardest thing to shoot through. I mean, if I didn't know what a white-tailed deer looked like and was just going off what some of these heavy arrow people, or not just heavy arrow people, I'll say, just, you know, what some of these people are talking about with penetration and everything like that with whitetail, if I didn't know what one looked like, I would think that it was the size of like a Cape buffalo, right? Probably bigger. And it's just not realistic. It's not a reality that most hunters are gonna encounter. And honestly, it's just kind of wasting time, in my opinion, which I feel like it's a pretty good opinion. At the end of the day, a whitetail is probably one of the easier things that most hunters in America could go after as far as penetration goes. I mean, other than like a pronghorn and a turkey in some cases, like white-tailed deer are pretty soft. And it's not something, it's not rocket science, right? I mean, if you prioritize the time that you take stressing about, you know, your arrow weight and your FOC and everything like that, and it's all this stuff, if you actually spend that time that you waste, you know, focusing on all that and put it into shooting, you will make a much more accurate shot that your arrow weight won't even matter compared to the shot placement that you have. And yeah, sure, there can be the argument of like, oh, well, you never know what the deer is gonna do. But I mean, yeah, but if you're shooting a fast enough arrow, like the arrow is gonna get there before the deer does. And that's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing that people are like, well, actually, the timing of the deer and how it ducks and stuff like that, like it's not gonna react the same to a slow arrow as it does a fast arrow. I mean, honestly, like the cope of the heavy arrow crowd, now that their problem kind of got big enough for people who actually, you know what they're talking about, to be like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Look at all this actual data, right? All of that, their coping mechanisms has been so funny to watch, being like, yeah, no, a slow arrow might be better trying to duck against a deer or something like that. I don't know. That's against the point in this video. But yeah, long story short, if you shoot a just normal setup at a white-tailed deer and you're like an average bow hunter, I mean, I have a 27.5-inch draw, shoot 70 pounds. Like I'm not a kinetic energy machine, right? But I mean, I'll shoot pass-throughs on a white-tailed deer all day long if I make a good shot, which I will, right? This is I think it's like a 415 grain arrow. I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to my arrow build, but this is like a lighter arrow, most would consider. 50 grains up front for the insert, 100 grain head. Like, it's just a normal, I built it so it's fast. That's really all I built it for. And this will pass through deer. These same arrows, this build has passed through 3 deer last year, like no problem. So yeah, we're gonna shoot it at a cow scapula today. I went down to my butcher shop and bought a couple of cow scapulas. Well, really they gave them to me for free. But if a arrow can go through this with no problem, I mean, a scapula is like the main thing. It's the boogeyman for all the guys who talk about arrow weight and say that, I mean, your arrow, if it's sub 600 grains, it's gonna bounce off of the scapula, right? So yeah, I'm gonna shoot this arrow at it with a 3-blade broadhead, and I have no issue thinking that it's gonna go through. Yeah, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. So let's go. Okay. Broadhead is on the arrow. This also isn't even a sharp broadhead. I used this for broadhead tuning on both my bows yesterday. And I mean, I shoot broadheads quite a bit when I broadhead tune. So yeah, this thing is, I mean, it's not sharp, it's dull, if anything. This is actually a exact archery head. Pretty cool company, based out of Columbus. You know, local, I'm from Nebraska, and this is a Nebraska-based company. So got to support my boy, right? And we better hope his heads hold up against the scapula. So I guess this is a good test for these. And I mean, I'm not worried about them, but let's go ahead and put it through. I got my iPhone down there set up, 20 yards, just kind of like an average bow hunter shot on a white-tailed deer, right? Yeah, we'll see how it runs. Here we go. Ooh. Just remember to move my sight to 20. Alrighty, I do just have it propped up with an arrow. I promise I didn't miss. So, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and see what I already know. Now would you look at that? Who would have thought? Oh, I would have thought, actually. I mean, it's not rocket science, guys. I mean, this thing, I'll show you on the iPhone here. I mean, this thing fully, oh my gosh, yeah, let me show you here real quick. Fully penetrated through the scapula. I mean, pretty well. It was a high shot, but I can reshoot it. All the way through this target, which I have ratcheted down, and then into the deer target. And there's always that thing of like, oh, well, the median decides the test, or the target decides the test. It's like, yeah, I mean, I just shot through a target that is meant to stop arrows after shooting through a scapula, which you also like pray to God isn't gonna stop your arrow. So, okay, well, here's the broadhead. I went ahead and put it in the dirt because I just propped up the target. But I mean, yeah, like it's fine. It's not, you know, it's not damaged or anything like that. The tip isn't like bent over or anything. Honestly, I'm kind of impressed with it. But let's shoot another one. That arrow was a little high. Let's go ahead and, you know, I want to hit the thick spot. I want to hit the big part of the shoulder blade. Let's go ahead and shoot that one more time here and just see what happens. I think it's important to note, like, a cow scapula is obviously a lot thicker than a deer scapula. And yes, I mean, I have an archery target as a backstop, but like, I mean, I think that an archery target is gonna stop an arrow more than whatever is behind a scapula of a deer, which is just, I mean, soft organs. So, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to get people to shoot more accurately and shoot just more efficiently, because it's more fun when you're better at archery. Of course I hit like the same spot. Okay, we're gonna have to shoot it again. We'll shoot one more time here. I don't know why I'm hitting in that same spot. It's calling to me. But let's go ahead and shoot one more. So I mean, again, broadhead's totally fine. Let's shoot thicker down in there. Blew through the shoulder blade that time. So let's see if it does it again. There we go. That was a thick part of the shoulder blade. You can tell just from the sound difference. But haven't seen it. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that it punched through it again for a third time. So let's look. Holy cow, look at that. Gentlemen, one second, let me hit one of these. It's like the DJ Khaled album, Suffering from Success, right? I hate being right, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I had no doubt at the start of this that, you know, that was gonna be the result, that the broadhead was gonna pass through that scapula totally easy. And yeah, you can make the excuse or make the argument of like, well, you didn't have to go through the hide and the hairs and all that stuff. Yeah, but a cow scapula is a lot bigger than a deer scapula. And like, is it really gonna make that much difference? I passed through a cow scapula, passed through an archery target that's designed to stop arrows. And deer aren't designed to stop arrows other than the scapula, which I shot through. So yeah, I don't know. That I went through that thing, had plenty of energy left over to keep going through. And I have no doubt that if I was shooting at a deer, I would have passed through that deer, even on that shot. Maybe my fletchings would have got hung up on like the entry shot or on the exit shot, either or. But at that point, I mean, I have that much arrow in the deer already. It's probably sticking out the other side, so I have 2 holes. Pause. I have 2 holes that is gonna bleed. Yeah, I don't know. I get it, right? Like I get that you want to have that comfort of knowing that you're probably going to shoot through anything, but you can have the same comfort with one of these, and the only thing that this thing isn't going to pass through or shoot through is like the knuckle on the joint, or like that really thick part of the scapula where it kind of makes like a T. But at the same time, like a heavy arrow is probably not going to pass through that either. So what's the point? You're losing trajectory. I mean, I would just much rather you take all that time that you're spending watching some dude yell in Texas and, you know, building arrows and stuff on your end, and just spend it practicing. That's my whole thing, right? I want you to be a better archer. I want you to be a better shooter and all the good stuff, right? Like I don't want you to stop shooting if you shoot a heavy arrow. I just want you to, you know, practice more than, obviously there are guys who shoot heavy arrows who practice, but like if you're pulling your hair out over your arrow build, just practice more, man. And it's probably not gonna make a big difference, I'll be honest. But yeah, so I don't know. That's me on my soapbox for today. And I don't have much more other than that. So yeah, I'm impressed with these heads more than anything. Exact Archery, I'm not paid by them or anything. I bought these with my own money. But yeah, I don't know. I like it. So that's about it. Hope that proves my point. Have a blessed day, and we'll see ya. Didn't stick, dang it.